Well, my prediction did not come to actualization, did not come to realization today. Phillies, in fact, could not sweep Baltimore Orioles. They only could get one run in today's game. Ranger Suarez had a blow-up inning where there was a bunch of weak contact, and then he also allowed a three-run shot in this ball game, which was you know, very annoying. Maybe there was a case that Ranger Suarez maybe shouldn't have gone into the seventh inning. Brought him in there, went 6 1/3, 9 hits, 5 earned runs allowed, no walks, 3 strikeouts on 95 pitches. A lot of weak contact, and there's definitely a lot of blame to go around. Obviously, Ranger, you just cannot have that blow up winning where you're just even though I understand it's soft contact, there's a lot of unluckiness based in there, but you got to find your way to work around it. You just gotta, you really gotta. And that really just goes to the tide of Ranger Suarez, second half version of Ranger Suarez. It's definitely very hit or miss. And this was definitely one of those days where it was a miss, even though it was a blow up inning. But still, in the matter of the fact, you allow 4 runs to score in one inning and you put your team into a hole. But then also the argument comes to the fact that the Phillies should, you know, have some offense in today's game. Realistically, the only guy that showed up on a consistent basis in today's game was Trey Turner. Surprisingly, for how much he has been struggling, he was a home run away from the cycle. And we probably all knew that wasn't going to happen because he hasn't hit a home run in Citizens Bank Park this year. But it would have been hilarious if he did have his first home run at home this year would be to complete a cycle. But he was realistically the only guy in the lineup that showed up. Phillies did have 9 hits. They had a lot of chances with runners in scoring position to just, once again, could not knock in guys with runners in scoring position. They went 1 for 10 in that certain spot. Harper went 0 for 3. Castellanos 0 for 2. Schwarber 0 for 3. So, your top guys in the lineup had a lot of chances. Turner, in his only chance, went 1 for 1. He had the only hit. And then Marchand went 0 for 1. So, Harper, Castellanos, Schwarber, those guys need to come up with the runners in scoring position, and they just did not in today's game. Schwarber, he went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Harper went 1 for 4. Castellanos 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Bader 1 for 4. Kemp 1 for 4. Sosa 1 for 4. Wilson 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. And then Marchand went 1 for 3 with a walk in this game as well. Bullpen wise, you used Romano to finish off that inning from Ranger in the 7th. Then Joe Ross came in, allowed a hit, but got out of the inning relatively quickly. And then Rangel pitched in the 9th and was relatively quick as well, but that was basically in garbage time. So it's a bit of a mixed bag for today's game. You did catch a break as well in terms of standings because the Mets did get swept by the Cleveland Guardians. They actually were getting no hit by I believe who was it? It was Gavin Williams. Gavin Williams actually had a no-hitter going into the top of the 9th inning with 1 out, and then it got broken up by a Juan Soto solo shot. So, and he was also like at almost 120 pitches at that point, and then he got Lindor the strikeout for the first out of the 9th inning, and then just challenged Soto with a high fastball, and Soto crushed it and ended the no-hit bid. But still, it's Garrett Williams, not Gavin Williams. It's Garrett Williams. I thought it was Gavin Williams for some reason. I thought Gavin Williams. No, it is Gavin Williams. It is Gavin Williams, Michael. I was right. I was right. Always got to go with my gut. But still, Mets got swept by Cleveland. It's another series loss for them. It's another time they got swept. And their task does not get any more easier with they faced the Milwaukee Brewers this weekend, who are, one of the hottest teams in baseball. So, yeah, if the Mets continue to play the way they're playing, they might get swept by Milwaukee, even though I'm not guaranteeing anything because the Phillies are also going to Texas, where Texas has a lot of good starting pitching and a lot of good bullpen arms. And I think in terms of just ERA in baseball, I think Texas has the best ERA as a team in Major League Baseball. I think that is the case. So yeah, I am not guaranteeing shit when it comes to this series against the Texas Rangers. Even though the Phillies have been playing better, they still can't go on extended winning streaks. They have not won more than 3 games in a row since the last time they swept the series. And they're winning series, which is a good thing. But sometimes you got to go on extended winning streaks. Sometimes you got to go on extended winning stretches. like 5 games in a row, 6 games in a row, or you're winning like 7 of 10, 7 of 9. Maybe you go on like a 9 of 12 run or something like that. Like if you have a couple of stretches of those, you would definitely have a commanding lead in the NL East by now. That's just a fact. Like the Mets, yeah, they have that 7 game winning streak, but they really didn't get any traction on that. They've lost 3 series since then, and then got swept twice. So the Mets are more inconsistent right now than the Phillies are. The Phillies, they are winning series, they just can't go on winning stretches. They finally just won 3 games in a row for the first time last night since the season changed the summer. The last time they swept the series, it was still spring, technically in June. So they just this team is very allergic to going on big winning stretches and just very allergic to sweeping series currently. And uh, that's just the annoying part with this team, I guess. It just is. It's the really annoying part with this team that when they do have a chance to sweep, they just don't. They just don't. And I don't know where that reflects off of, where they come into the game where they're just like they're very not contemplate, they're very contempt with winning 2 of 3. They're contempt with winning the series and all that stuff. Sometimes you really need to have that killer mentality just to go in there. We're going to crush this team. We're going to get a win. We're going to sweep this team's ass, get them out of our ballpark without a single win on the win column, and we'll continue to ride the high going into a road trip, a very long road trip. And they just can't finish off the sweep, which is, it's frustrating. It definitely is. Because, like I explained earlier, winning stretches, you would have a commanding lead in the division by now. And I'm just putting that out there. You would have at least probably a 5, 6, or 7 game lead on the Mets if you just went on some winning stretches during the times that the Mets are really struggling. And they've been struggling more, they've been winning. That random 7 game winning streak that they had tied in there just is combined with a bunch of losing. A bunch of losing. Their offense can't hit. Their starting pitching, like I said, that wasn't sustainable. It's not sustainable. Same thing with their bullpen. It's just, I'm not saying the Mets are a bad team. It's just that right now a lot of things are going wrong for them, and right now they also can't hit. I believe before the Juan Soto home run, they were going on like 12 straight innings or 13 straight innings without a single hit. So Mets are really, really feeling it right now with the struggles. And right now, I think what you were 2.5 games up on the Mets after last night, and that'll stay the same after today, since you lost and the Mets lost, so really nothing changes there. But yeah, it's definitely annoying that this team just can't finish off the sweep, because you would have been 3.5 ahead of the Mets if you won today's game. So that is definitely frustrating. So let's go over this game. Let's go over. So 1-2-3 inning for Ranger Suarez in the top of the first inning. Bottom of the first, Trey Turner with a leadoff walk, then Schwarber grounded into a double play. Harper with a 2-out single, then Castellanos struck out. Ranger got into the jam in the top of the second inning. Rutschman singled. Mayo grounded into a fielder's choice. Kowser doubled, so you had second and third with 2 outs, but Carlson flew out to end the jam there. Bottom second, Sosa with a 2-out single did not come around to score. A 1-2-3 top of the third for Ranger. Bottom of the third, Trey Turner with a 1-out triple does not come around the score. Schwarber strikes out, and then Harper grounds out. So it was a long at bat for Schwarber. It was a 7-pitch at bat, fouled off a couple of pitches, but he struck out swinging on a changeup. And then Bryce Harper swinging at the second pitch in his at bat did not drive home that run, which is very annoying. Top of the fourth inning, Henderson with a single, Rutschman with an infield single, so those are the weak hits right there. Jackson had a double to left field that the Phillies were playing the shift, and he just poked it down the left field line, put the Orioles up 1-0. And then Mayo on the first pitch that he saw was just a changeup that hung, just was the biggest hanger in the fucking world. Changeup 79 miles an hour, right down the heart of the plate, and Mayo just sent it out of the ballpark, and it becomes a 4-0 Orioles lead. Ranger did allow another batter to get on. That was all with no outs, by the way. He hit Jackson with a pitch with 2 outs, but then got out of it. Bottom of the fourth, Bader had an infield single. Nothing happened there. 1-2-3 inning for Ranger in the fifth. Bottom of the fifth, Wilson with a leadoff walk. Marchand with a single, so we had a runner on first and third. Trey Turner with an RBI single, which advanced the runners. Marchand to second base, scored Wilson, became a 4-1 game. But then once again with runners in scoring position, Kyle Schwarber, he strikes out swinging on a changeup. Bryce grounds into a fielder's choice, and then Nick Castellanos grounded out to end the inning. So there's the heart of your order not coming in with runners in scoring position. Ranger, another 1-2-3 inning in the top of the sixth. Double play technically in there, but still 1-2-3 inning nonetheless. Bottom of the sixth, Phillies had a couple of base runners. Kemp with a 1-out single, Wilson with a 2-out single, Marchand grounded out to end the inning, so no runners scored. Top seven, Jackson with a 1-out double, and then Holiday singled to bring home Jackson to make it 5-1 Baltimore. Romano eventually came into the game. Bottom seven for the Phillies, Trey Turner with a leadoff double. Nothing happens after that. Schwarber strikes out again. Harper strikes out. Castellanos strikes out. So the next three guys strike out after Turner gets into scoring position. So the one game where Trey Turner finally has a semblance of life, nobody else does anything, which is very annoying. Top of the eighth, Ross out there, allowed a 2-out single, but nothing else. Bottom of the eighth, 1-2-3 inning. Bottom of the ninth, a 1-2-3 inning, and Trey Turner grounded into a double play to end the ball game off. So that was annoying. That was just a very, 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 very annoying game, basically. And I really wasn't watching for the most part. I was basically just keeping up on the MLB app, so I really wasn't home to watch. I did come home like halfway through the ball game, but I came home, I made some lunch, and then before you know it, it was the eighth inning already. I was like, what the fuck? I think I came home and it was like the fifth or the sixth. So it was like, geez, that went by very fucking quickly. And that was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. But, yeah. Can't finish off the sweep. Did win the series, which is, yes, the important thing at the end of the day. But once again, this Phillies team does need to go on extended winning stretches. And they just are allergic to doing that for some reason. I do not know why. So, if we look at the weekend series against the Texas Rangers, some definitely tough pitching matchups. Christopher Sanchez is going to be facing Merrill Kelly, who recently just got traded to Texas. He was 9-6 with a 3.22 ERA with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and I'm assuming he's made an appearance already for Texas. I'm assuming. Was this? Yeah, he's already made a start for Texas. That's it has been a couple of days since the deadline. It feels like it was yesterday for some reason. So Merrill Kelly in his first start with Texas, 5 2/3 innings against Seattle with 2 earned runs and 6 strikeouts. Did the Phillies see Merrill Kelly this year? I think they did. Yeah, it was on a Friday. He went 5 innings, allowed 1 earned run, and the Phillies did win that game. Okay, it was one of those late comebacks against the Diamondbacks. Oh yeah, I do remember. I think that was like a game where Max Kepler, of all people, hit like a go-ahead home run in the bottom of the eighth or something like that. I think that was the case, honestly. I think that was the case. So Christopher Sanchez will be going up against Merrill Kelly, and there's also a stipulation with this rotation going into this weekend. So Zack Wheeler was originally supposed to pitch on Friday. They pushed Zack Wheeler's start back to Sunday because he's feeling shoulder soreness after his last start. So that is definitely something I want to get to. So it came out before today's game, actually, from Matt Gilb. Phillies are bumping Zack Wheeler back 2 days to Sunday. He complained about some shoulder stiffness. They sent him for an MRI. It was clean. Rob Thompson said Wheeler played catch today. So I don't know what to take of that. Like, the first thing that just comes to my mind is that Zack Wheeler has not been right since he threw his complete game against Cincinnati, and maybe that is a factor after that. But I'm assuming this is the first time he's complained about shoulder soreness since then, and he really hasn't had that issue the entire season. And I don't. It's also because when you think about Zack Wheeler, he has so much mileage on his body since being with the Phillies and just like turning into the dynamo that he is. And yeah, there's definitely a lot of wear and tear on that arm, most likely, and that shoulder. But maybe there's a correlation for why he has been struggling so much in the past couple of games. But I do kind of feel like it does correlate to the complete game. I really just have that feeling it does. I don't know, and there's a reason why he hasn't gone the distance so much since being. I think before then, his last complete game was the one in 2021. I don't think he's had a complete game since. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't. So they're pushing his start back to Sunday, and I'm assuming since they have the day off tomorrow, Christopher Sanchez is pitching on normal rest. So there's that involved as well. So we'll see where that goes. But the rest of the pitching matchups, Jesus Luzardo's going up against Jacob deGrom on Saturday. So, oh God. And then Zack Wheeler on Sunday is going up against Patrick Corbin, who is 6-7 with a 3.91 ERA with the Texas Rangers. And in his last start, he only went 3 innings against the New York Yankees and allowed 3 earned runs. So is he a guy that goes deep in the ball games this year? He has. He has, like, a lot of 4, 5, 6 inning performances and stuff like that. But Jacob deGrom, if we just look at him, we know what we're going to expect from Jacob deGrom. He's been very good for Texas this year. Finally being healthy and all that stuff. He's 10-4 with a 2.80 ERA in his last start against Seattle, actually. His last 2 starts actually haven't been the best. 5 innings, 5 earned runs against the Seattle Mariners, 3 home runs allowed, actually. And then 5 1/3 innings, 5 earned runs allowed against the Los Angeles Angels with 2 home runs allowed. So he's been allowing a lot of home runs lately, actually. He allowed 7 home runs in the month of July, where he had a 4.13 ERA. So he had 2 earned runs against the Astros, 3 earned runs against the Angels, 2 earned runs against Baltimore. In his first start, obviously in the month of August, he was not sharp. How many home runs has he given up this year? I actually do want to see that. He's given up 19 home runs this year, which is pretty shocking, to say the least. But he had a really good month of May. He had a really good month of June. He had a 2.08 ERA in May, and he had a 1.41 ERA in the month of June. And that equals to a 2.80 ERA. He is still Jacob deGrom. He has a .94 WHIP. He's still a very good pitcher in this league, and yeah, definitely no easy task for the Phillies offense this weekend because, like I said, with the Texas Rangers, I do think they lead, as a team, they lead Major League Baseball in terms of ERA, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Texas Rangers have a 3.24 ERA. So, and I'm sure that's also combined with their bullpen, which I'm sure their bullpen's also very good. So the Phillies have a lot of work cut out for them this weekend. So I'm not guaranteeing shit when it comes to this Texas Rangers series. And also, they struggle when they go to Texas, so I'm not guaranteeing shit. I'm just not. Looking at the updated standings, obviously, still 2.5 games up on the Mets. You're 65-49. That is 16 games above 500. The Miami Marlins, they've been losing more to the Houston Astros, so maybe they're coming back down to earth again. They're 55-57, 9 games out, and all that stuff. And in terms of the wild card, where are the Mets in that race right now? So the Padres, they now have the second wild card spot. They're a half game up on the Mets. Cubs, they have the first wild card spot. They're 3 games up in that specific situation. And then the Mets, they're in the third wild card spot. They're 2.5 games up on the Reds, 5 games up on San Francisco, and then 6 games up on St. Louis, and 6.5 games up on Miami. So right now, the Reds are definitely a team to look out for. They definitely are. And we gotta just the Mets right now. They're just losing. They're just losing a lot. In their last 9 games, they're 1-10. They're 1-10 in their last 9 games after going on a 7-game winning streak. Crazy, absolutely crazy. So like I said, I don't know what to expect. I really don't know what to expect from this series. So, and I think they're playing the Yankees right now currently, and I think they've won 2 of those games, if I'm not mistaken. The Texas Rangers. They're 60-55 on the season. Yeah, they have a chance to sweep, but they're also coming off of losing 3 of 4 to the Mariners and then losing a series to the Angels after sweeping 2 series in a row against the Athletics and the Braves. So right now they're in a rough stretch, but also they're playing the Yankees, so that's probably something that can wake them up. So we got to see where are the Rangers in terms of the standings, because I know they bought at the deadline. Rangers. They're half game out of the final wild card spot. So if they were to beat the Yankees today, they would take over that third wild card spot. But if they lose, it goes back to a game and a half, I would assume. So the Rangers, they're still fighting for their playoff lives right now, but that wild card for the American League is so crazy right now. Look at this. Boston is 3.5 games up in the first wild card spot. Mariners, they're 1 game up in the second wild card spot. The Yankees, they have the third wild card spot. Rangers are a half game out looking in. Guardians are 1 game out. Royals are 4 games out. Tampa Bay is 4.5 games out. Angels are 5 games out, and a lot of these teams are below 500. If you're going after the Guardians, the Royals, it's the Royals downward is all below 500, but they're all still within the fucking race, except like when you get the Minnesota, when you get the Baltimore Athletics and Chicago and all that stuff. Like the A's, like Tampa Bay Angels and Royals, they're technically still involved, which is fucking crazy. Which is crazy. That's how bad the American League is this year. Damn. Damn, 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 damn. Crazy stuff here, boys. Crazy stuff. But, yeah, definitely was a very frustrating affair for your Phillies for today. Definitely was. And we'll just see. They have a day off tomorrow, and I really don't expect anything to happen much on that front, bearing any type of breaking news or something like that. So, wait and see process. Excuse me. Sneezes are coming up. But, yeah. We don't have any calls here on the Anytime Hotline. Not really seeing anything from the Twitter front from today's game or anything like from interviews or anything like that. Yeah, nothing from Rob Thompson. Nothing from any. It's just simple Phillies losing the final game of a series, but still 2.5 games up on the Mets in first place in the National League East. Let's see. Here we go. Here's an interesting stat from Phillies post-game live. They have a nice graphic right here that I could, share to you. So the record right here, if I can get to it. Okay, so put away the brooms with a chance to sweep a 3-game series this season. The Phillies are 4-9. They've scored 4.46 runs per game. They have a team ERA of 4.54 and a run differential of a -12. In 1-run games, they're 2-3. In extra innings, they're 1-3. And this is all with a chance to sweep 3-game series this year. So they just haven't had that killer mentality to sweep series. They've been doing that all year. They have very few sweeps. And if I just look at their schedule, actually, just to look at the sweeps, in terms of how many they've had this year, it hasn't been that many. According to that stat, they're 4-9, so they've only had 4 sweeps of 3-game series this year. So let's look at their schedule just to see where those sweeps came from. Where did those sweeps came from or come from? So they swept Colorado at home, and then after that they didn't get a sweep until Jesus Christ. They didn't have a sweep until they played in Tampa Bay in May, and then they swept the Pittsburgh Pirates at home. So they went through 2 series sweeps actually. The 3-game series at home against Pittsburgh, then the 4-game series in Colorado. So they swept 2 series in a row. Then after that, they lost a lot. Then they swept Toronto at home. Yeah, Toronto was the last time they swept the series. Toronto was the last time they swept the series, but they've had so many chances to sweep series this year. It's crazy. Crazy. Crazy here, boys. Crazy, 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 crazy. But, yeah. Get to you guys in the chat here. Don't have anything in the voicemail line. Nothing in the text message line either. I'll get you guys in the chat. Then we'll, be our merry way. Tyler says, "Uh-oh, I guess I spoke too soon." Yeah, I think Tyler says they would have swept yesterday. I think I remember you saying that they possibly would sweep today. Austin, I'm back and well rested now. Can't say the same for the offense though. Wow, that was sad. The crazy pendulum, which is the Phillies Sporting, continues to swing. Yep. Ranger Suarez has been having that 1 inning where he really blows up. Yeah, that's a second half Ranger Suarez for you, which is still very concerning to me about just the rest of the second half. At some point, you got to get getting sweeps because the race in the NL is very tight this year. Oh, yeah. And the Cubs' offense is falling apart, and I predict the Dodgers are going back-to-back this year. Interesting. Except for the Braves and the Nationals, of course, because those teams suck. Oh, you're talking about the Mets, the stretch the Mets will be on? Yeah, the Mets do have a tough stretch. I think I do remember them, having the Braves and the Nationals involved in there as well. Let me see their schedule upcoming and all that. So obviously they play Milwaukee, they play the Braves, they play Seattle, Washington, Atlanta again, Philadelphia. So there's, like I said, their schedule is very like top heavy. Like when they play good teams, they play very good teams, and when they're playing bad teams, they're playing very bad teams. So that's the way their schedule has been so far. And then also from Franco, how you doing? Sad to see the Guardians not get the no-no, but funny to see the Mets get swept again. It's always funny to see the Mets fans in misery. Always funny. I'm sure the Frank the Tank guy is probably going to go on another huge rant today, most likely. Or he probably had a rant at the ballpark or something like that. Who knows? Who knows? But, yeah, that'll do it for today. Get a nice stream after a very early game. Most likely going to have some work to do tonight and all that stuff with Brodes and Russ and all that. So, good to get this recap out of the way for you boys, and then you can enjoy the rest of your day. So, appreciate it. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Does me a great deal of service. And also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SEATGEEK. Great deal. Don't pass it up. So, thanks, guys, for tuning in today. And most likely nothing happening tomorrow, bearing any breaking news. I know the Eagles play their first preseason game tomorrow. I'm not really sure if I'm going to talk about that, just because the starters are going to play for like one snap, and that's basically it. So, yeah, most likely we'll reconvene after, see if we do Friday or something like that, or we just do the series as a whole to play by ear process. You'll see something in your subscription feed. But